When trying to find a supplement to support a child with ADHD, the sheer number of options out there can be really overwhelming. Plus, how do you know what will work and what won't? And where is the best place to buy them? If you can relate to any of these frustrations, then definitely stick around because at the end of this video, I'm going to share my absolute favorite supplements for children with ADHD, as well as how to know if you are buying them from a reputable supplier. Right now, though, I want to make sure you are not making one of these huge mistakes with supplementation. So let's dive in. Supplements can definitely play a very important role in nutrition and healing, but there are three huge pitfalls that I have seen many caregivers making with their kids with ADHD. Pitfall number one, blind supplementation. When I first started using supplements to support my son with ADHD, I did what many families do. Used what I call blind supplementation. And it's kind of like the game pin the tail on the donkey. We spin in circles, we desperately try to figure out what's going to hit the target. As we spin, we listen to people all around us telling us what we should do, which way we should go. And eventually we take a stab and we hope it lands. Blind supplementation is what I did for years, and it's what many families still do. Blind supplementation is what happens when we hear that a supplement worked for some other child, so we try it and hope it will work for us too. There's nothing inherently wrong with blind supplementation as long as it's being done safely using the prescribed amounts. For some families, blind supplementation works. They take a stab and it lands on the bullseye. They are really the lucky ones. These are probably the families that are speaking up in the Facebook groups and other support groups with their suggestions on what to try. They saw success and can't help but share it with others, assuming other people will see the same results they do. And that's very, very helpful for some, but unfortunately, blind supplementation doesn't work for many families. Many of us, myself included and my son, end up trying way too many supplements with way too few positive results. I can hear the question forming in the minds of many of you. If blind supplementation doesn't work, then what does? Does that mean the only time someone should try supplementation is after lab testing? Now, in an ideal world, if money were no object, then I would suggest everyone do functional lab testing before trying any supplement. Lab testing removes the guesswork from the process. Yes, lab testing is ideal, but that's not the world we live in. Functional lab testing can be expensive and isn't often covered by insurance, so it's not always an option. In that case, trial and error is the way to go. Pitfall number two, the miracle pill. That brings me to the second pitfall of supplementation, thinking that one pill is going to be that miracle pill. Supplements can be very effective and healing, but supplements can never be the be-all and end-all for ADHD symptoms. I have spoken to too many caregivers who want a simple pill to fix their child's ADHD symptoms. They want something to make all of the challenges go away. I've been there and I can tell you. And the hard reality, though, is that if a child is still consuming large amounts of inflammatory and processed foods, he or she won't likely see a noticeable improvement using any supplementation. That's because the body is still being pounded by inflammation, and inflammation affects the entire body, including the brain. Children cannot function at their best if the diet is not cleaned up. And for that reason, food should always come first. For about half of the families I work with, once the diet is changed, supplementation is not necessary at all. Diet alone can provide them the relief they need. For other families, supplementation is necessary. Even for these families, though, if they only supplement and don't change the diet, it won't work. Food must come first. It is a vital, 100% essential part of natural ADHD symptom reduction. You cannot supplement your way out of a poor diet, unfortunately. Pitfall number 3 is one size fits all. Now, a third pitfall with supplementation is that many people assume if a load of supplements work for one child, it will work for their child as well. I definitely fell into this trap with my son. I mistakenly assumed that because something was working for another family that it was guaranteed to work for ours as well. And when it didn't, I was crushed. Every child is a bio-individual. One supplement that works well for one child might not have an effect on another, or it might even have a negative effect. That's because each child is his or her own individual and needs different things based on their diet and their genetic makeup. For supplementation to be effective, it needs to be tailored to each individual child. Now, hopefully this is making sense so far. If you have any questions about anything I've said, make sure and pop those into the comments and I'll see and come back and answer them later. And while you're there, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any additional videos from me. Now, I promised to share my favorite supplements for ADHD, so I want to do that now. I want to share these with you because they are ones that just about everyone can benefit from, even kids without ADHD, even adults. I don't want you to have to spend hours researching this supplement or that supplement and trying to figure out which one will actually work. I did that and I remember how frustrating that was. And many times I'd try one and it would be a complete failure. Sometimes it even made my son's ADHD symptoms worse, and it was so frustrating, not to mention the amount of money I spent on all these supplements. I could put both my boys through college with the amount of money I spent on random supplements. So the supplements I'm going to share today are ones that have not only worked for my son with ADHD, but have also worked for many of the families that I work with. And I will pop the link to each of these supplements in the video description, so check that out for more information. Okay, the first supplement I love for kids with ADHD is a good quality fish oil for omega-3 and 6 fatty acids. Now, omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids are polyunsaturated fatty acids that are meant to be in a 1-to-1 ratio in the body. Unfortunately, due to the Western diet, the amount of omega-6 in our body has reached unprecedented proportions and results in inflammation, blood pressure, and heart disorders, and so much more. In contrast, omega-3, which comes from a Mediterranean diet, is extremely low. The deficiency of omega-3 and the overabundance of omega-6 can exacerbate ADHD symptoms in children, and research suggests that incorporating foods that naturally contain fatty acids such as fish and nuts can definitely support. However, since many of our children have insufficient consumption of these foods, supplementation can also be effective. The next supplement is a good quality probiotic. There is definitely a close link between the gut and the brain, and I have many videos talking about that on my YouTube channel. The brain has many areas that are involved in gut function, but one of the main areas is the frontal lobe, and it talks to the gut via nerve branches and two-way chemical messengers. Now, the frontal lobe is involved in things like attention and focus, executive function, planning, organizing, problem solving, all of which are common symptoms of many of our children with ADHD. So ensuring the gut is functioning well will ensure our child's frontal lobe is functioning well as well. Research shows that taking probiotics that contain a certain type of gut bacteria can reduce inflammation, help detoxification, reduce anxiety, improve mood, and also protect the body against the damaging mental and physical effects of stress. One thing to keep in mind is that our bodies are not meant to take probiotics forever. Once the gut is in a good place, probiotics should not be necessary long term, except for when fighting off sickness or traveling or when on medication. Supplement number 3 is magnesium. And magnesium is used in over 300 biochemical processes in the body. That's a lot. And it is an important element that supports muscles, helps with relaxation, aids restful sleep, keeps hormonal balance, keeps the heartbeat steady, regulates blood glucose levels, and aids in the production of energy. Now, stress depletes magnesium levels. So if a child is already low in magnesium and experiences stress, that anxiety can make their magnesium levels even lower. And it's this vicious cycle, but one that can be supported through eating magnesium-rich foods like spinach, asparagus, cabbage, avocado, bananas, seeds, nuts, peas, broccoli, dark chocolate, and oily fish. But it can also be supported through supplementation. Many caregivers find that magnesium makes a surprising difference to their kids' anxiety or depression. It aids in sleep and also reduces hyperactivity. And research suggests that children with ADHD often have low magnesium levels, and using supplements can have a calming effect on behavior and reduce insomnia, agitation, and even muscle cramps. With magnesium, it's important to remember that it can take a couple of weeks up to a month to build up in the body, so don't expect immediate results. Supplement number 4 is vitamin D. Now, many Americans do not get sufficient amounts of sunlight and are therefore deficient in vitamin D. Now, I live in Seattle, Washington, and I can tell you that there's not a huge amount of sunlight here, only in the summertime. Now, vitamin D supplement can work wonders to improve the symptoms of ADHD and anxiety, especially when taken with a supplement of omega-3 fatty acids. And that's because these macronutrients regulate serotonin production, which is our feel-good hormone, which is linked to social behavior, appetite, sleep, digestion, and memory. Vitamin D will also generally support the reduction of inflammation in the body, which is the key to healing. One of the best natural ways to get more vitamin D is obviously to get outside in the sunlight, but as this is not always possible, a vitamin D supplement can also be very beneficial as well. Each of these 4 supplements can be beneficial for just about everyone, but they are my top 4 supplements for kids with ADHD because of how effective they often are at supporting children with ADHD. Unfortunately, not all supplement brands are created equal. One of the mums in my program recently shared a supplement horror story. She was running low on a supplement that her child with ADHD uses daily, and she wanted to get a refill here as quickly as possible. So she ordered from a different supplier, which I'm not going to mention, than what she typically buys from. When the bottle arrived, the pills were a totally different color than the ones she normally receives. She contacted the company, and sure enough, the pills she received were fake. Who knows what might have been in them? It's really, really scary. So how do you know you are getting safe, pure supplements? Order from a place you trust. We have recently opened up an online store, and I absolutely love the fact that our supplements come direct from each of the manufacturer, and I know they are safe. I know that they contain what they say they contain and don't have any additives or fillers. I'm going to add the link to our store to this description below, so you can grab that there if you'd like. Now, here are a few things that set our ADHD Thrive line of supplements apart from others. Anytime you are searching for supplements, I would recommend you consider each of these points to make sure you are getting the very highest quality products. So supplements should have the following: superior quality ingredients with proven efficacy, that it is backed by science. We do our best to not just meet, but exceed industry standards. Number 2, strict quality control for manufacturing, packaging, and storing. Not just anyone can manufacture or package or store our products. We have strict qualification requirements. Professional grade supplement formulated and manufactured according to a science-first approach. Rather than focusing on convenience or cutting costs, we focus on quality. We do not cut corners anywhere. And the next most important one is no fillers or additives or extras or gluten or dairy or soy or artificial flavors or colors. I could go on. What you see on the ingredient label is what you get. Now, I know that that was a long video and a lot of information, so please reach out with any questions. I love this community and am always happy to help. If you haven't already, take a moment and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any additional videos. I release new videos several times a week, and when you subscribe, that will guarantee you don't ever miss another one. And remember, there is always a chance that one particular child might not necessarily need one or more of these supplements based on his or her individual body and what he or she is already getting from their diet. So always consult your health practitioner before starting any new supplement. That's it for today. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.